Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Derek Reilly. We are in Austria for the launch of the Volkswagen ID.5, this beautiful SUV with a coupe roofline. This is the GTX version, so with this GTX version at the front, it's pretty much similar as the ID.4 GTX that we already have on the channel. First of all, you've got a lot of that diamond action going on that we saw on the ID.4. You've got those poor weather diamond lights underneath. All of the ID.5s come with the LED matrix lights. It has that light bar and it doesn't have the light up VW logo. You will get that in North America. But otherwise, from a front aspect, you won't know whether this is the ID.4 or the ID.5. Wheels, you can get 19s, 20s and 21s. It comes with 20-inch wheels, but you can get 21s. That will affect your range and also the ride comfort. Large GTX strike on the side of it. Your color-coded wing mirrors with the indicators, and they're retractable. You've got that body panel underneath that's color-coded also. You've got that flush door handle, but it does have a panel internally that will open it up for you. Gloss black B-pillar, and this is the real business end of the Volkswagen ID.5. You've got that coupe roofline, looks really sporty. Let's have a look around the back. So we're back to look at the back of the Volkswagen ID.5 GTX, and you may notice the slight change of scenery. Yesterday evening we had some thunder showers, so we packed up and we said we come back in the morning. So here we are looking at the rear ID.5 GTX, and we have the gloss black shark fin aerial. You've got your charging port here on the side with 11 kilowatt on AC and 135 kilowatt on DC. You've got all ID.5s come with the 3D rear taillights. You've got that lovely spoiler in this King's Red. You have the full width side to side brake light. You've got that GTX badging in the black, which looks really well. A lot of people go for the Volkswagen sign because they think that's where the boot opening is, but it's in underneath. And as Bjorn Nyland calls it, it may get covered in schmutz. Inside, it's actually slightly larger than the ID.4. This is 550 litres. It has a subfloor, and then there is another floor in underneath, but again, very similar to the Pro that we've talked about. Seats in the rear, you've got a 40-60 split with a ski hatch, and then all ID.5s come with that power tail lift. And you have these body-coloured, slightly different rear diffusers on the back of it with a grey with the parking sensors. Let's have a look on the inside. So inside the Volkswagen ID.5 GTX is slightly different to the Pro Performance. If you haven't already watched that video, make sure you go and find it on the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so also. We're on a drive to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. So how will you know this is the GTX if you sit into it? You've got those blue and contrasting red stitches panels on the door. The GTX steering wheel has that logo at the bottom, but otherwise then it's pretty similar to the regular Volkswagen ID.4 and ID.5s. You've got all your controls on the door for the front and the rear with that interchangeable window button. We won't talk about that. We've got that touch sensitive panel for the lights over my left knee in this model, but it would be my right knee on a right hand drive. 3-spoke steering wheel with those haptic touch panels. Again, some people aren't a fan. You've got a 5-inch screen behind the steering wheel, and the steering wheel has reach and rake with your gear selector on the right hand side. 12-inch screen, you've got those sliders underneath. This is the upgraded software 3.0 in the ID.5s, and actually we're getting a look at the 3.1 version on these press vehicles, but it has an upgraded voice assistant, it has upgraded IQ lights. But they haven't upgraded the fact that there isn't any lights behind these sliders. You've got your cup holders up here. You've got your armrest on both front seats. These are the seats with the integrated headrests with the microfiber. You've got 2 USB Type-Cs. You've got your phone holder, and you've got other cup holders down here. So this can be interchanged up or down depending on where you want it. And as I said, you can cover that over then. I'm 188 centimeters, 6'2". I've set the seat for me. Let's have a look in the back. But before we do, just want to mention the panoramic sunroof that comes. Here we are in the back of the Volkswagen ID.4 GTX, ID.5 GTX, and headroom. With that panoramic sunroof, there's plenty of height there, but on the sides, you still have 2 or 3 centimeters. I'm 188 centimeters, 6'2", as I talked about. Leg room, you're talking 3 or 4 centimeters. These are the seats with the integrated headrests. You've got some visibility through the middle of it. You've got your mobile phone holder at the top and then a magazine holder at the bottom. 2 USB Type-Cs and tri-zone climate control. You've got a flat floor with that MEB platform. So lots of space in here, and that panoramic sunroof is great. Seats are microfiber in the middle and then leather in the middle part. You've got 2 Isofix in the back and 1 in the front. And then you've got your armrest with your cup holders. And this also has a ski hatch that goes all the way through. Lots of space here in the back. Would you fit 5 adults? 2 big and maybe 1 small, but otherwise Yeah, it's very similar to the ID.4, and I was thinking that the roofline would compromise with that coupe styling, but actually not. Very impressed with it. Let's take it out for a drive. Before we take it out for a drive, we've got the stats attack section of the video. So we've got two Irish prices for the ID.5 GTX, and the first one is starting off at €66,265, and then the max version is coming in at €76,630. With the GTX, it's an all-wheel drive system. It has the same battery pack as the Pro at 77 kilowatt hour. It has 300 brake horsepower, and that is over 2 axles, 2 electric motors, 220 kilowatts worth of power. It has 460 total torque across both of those as well. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.3 seconds, and it has a top speed limited at 180 kilometers an hour. Towing capacity for the GTX is 1,400 kgs. Charging on the GTX is similar to the Pro. It has an 11 kilowatt AC capability, and that takes 0 to 100% in 7.5 hours if you're on a home wall box. And then on DC, it can take up to 135 kilowatt hours, and which is, with that new software update, it's 9 minutes faster. So you're getting it in under 30 minutes from 5 to 80%, which is phenomenal. As with the Pro version as well, it is only getting a heat pump on that Max edition. Rear visibility is slightly less than the ID.4, but it has an with that spoiler across it, but the aerodynamics is better than the ID.4, and that's coming in at 0.27 drag coefficient. As we talked about with the software update, it is 3.0 that will be rolling out, and we actually got a look at the 3.1 version. What does that include? Bidirectional charging, which is like a two-way power transfer. It will also have the ability of plug and charge, so that means the car will know your payment details, and then the charger that you pull up to, if it's a smart enough charger, will understand that the car is going to pay for the charge through the account, and you just literally pull up like a Tesla, plug in and walk away, and it does all the back end stuff without you having to take out an app and mess around. Other features that it has the travel assist, which is Volkswagen's lane keep and adaptive cruise control, and that also has a new function where it has lane changing ability above 90 kilometers an hour. It also has travel assist with swarm data, so it's like a connected car. It's all anonymized, but it's just when you're taking a certain position on a road, you don't even need now the ability to have that center line. It will know where it's supposed to be positioned on the road, and it'll learn from other cars that are sending this data up to the cloud. If there is a change in road layout, if there is a pothole that everybody avoids, it will help you with all of that. Last thing it will do is it has Park Assist Plus with memory function, and if you've got a regular maneuver that you do when you're parking up, be that at work or at home, you can store up to 5 locations. You can store this in, and it uses its sensors and its cameras to pick up the location, and it'll say once it gets to that location, do you want to park in memory position 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Has over-the-air updates, and the last thing I want to talk about is that the WLTP, so the range of the GTX, is between 472 and 494. Real world, it's the heaviest of the ID.5s. You're probably looking near that 400, 420 on a good day, so just always take that into consideration. Let's go back to the drive. What's it like driving the ID.5? I want to say the ID.4 Coupe, which technically it is what it is, but VW have decided to give this its own special number. Unlike the Skoda and the Audi Q4 e-tron, this is the GTX, so it's the dual motor all-wheel drive, 220 kilowatt combined across the two motors. And we're here in Austria, driving up an alpine village. Yeah, it's good. Plenty power, but it's, you know what, it's not super torquey in comfort mode, and I just don't know whether we're going to get. So I drove it from the airport in Salzburg all the way to where we're here on the outskirts up in the mountains, and it is it's a lovely comfortable drive, number one. Number two, it's, if you're used to ID.3s, ID.4s and that Volkswagen side of things, it's very similar on the inside. It's just the fact that it's the GTX and the fact that it has that all-wheel drive. And if you have already seen on my channel, and if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. We're on a drive to get to 10,000 subscribers before the end of 2022. So I've already reviewed the ID.4 a couple of times, the ID.3 a couple of times, and even the ID.4 GTX. is my most recent ID.4 review. So this is the ID.5 GTX, and yeah, it's nice. And if you are looking for that all-wheel drive, it's definitely something that, these roads are gorgeous, and you can really feel it's a lovely smooth ride. With the GTX, the suspension is a small bit more firm compared to the standard ID.5. But we will pull over soon and have a look at some of the stats, because we have torque, we have horsepower, we have all of the stats that some of you are interested in. Drag coefficient is 0.27 on the GTX. It has a slightly better drag coefficient than the ID.4, just with that sloping roofline. Wow. Hopefully this camera behind can pick up these roads. They're beautiful. Exactly what the ID.5 GTX was made for. It's just difficult sometimes driving a left-hand drive, especially when there's no line marker on the road, to know what position on the road you should be in. But we'll get there. That was a nice lift there of elevation, and this thing keeps going. So yeah, the drive is good. The seats are excellent in the GTX, and you've got a couple of different versions of the seats. This is the one with the integrated headrest that we talked about when we did the walk around. Oh, beautiful. The hills are alive with the sound of music, kind of neck of the woods here with this vast expanse of green. And you know, during the winter this would be all ski slope stuff. My ears after popping as well. So the videographer told me that there is a lake up here that we should go to and have a look at. Let me know in the comments whether you're going to go for the regular one, ID.5, whether you're going to go for the GTX version, or whether you are happy with the ID.4. It's interesting, and again we talked about it in the when we did the walk around, that the ID.5 has a bigger boot because of the way that the sloping roofline is. It's 50 litres more versus the 500 for the ID.4. So yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. But yeah, great steering, good weight. Very happy with it. Great visibility, seating position. We've got the armrests as well. We've got the head-up display. We've got that 5-inch screen in front of the driver, and we've got that 12-odd-inch screen, which is standard across all the ID.5s. That is my look around the ID.5 GTX. Hopefully you've enjoyed the review, and make sure you've liked the video. Make sure that we talked about subscribing, and also leave a comment. And remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching.